Losing weight can be a real emotional roller coaster. There's nothing more demoralizing than putting in all the work, not seeing any of the progress. Well, I'm here to tell you that's completely normal, and I'm going to try and help you get in the right mindset so that you don't quit while you're up and that you keep pushing forward. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrew Fillion, and today I want to go over the mindset of weight loss because I know that for a lot of people, losing weight can be a massive emotional roller coaster. And it's easy to explain why. You do a ton of work, but you're not seeing a lot of the results, at least not up front. There's two major setbacks that a lot of people run into when they're trying to lose weight, and I'll briefly hit each of them. The first, you're not seeing the numbers on the scale move. This can be huge. You put in a lot of work, you're on your cardio, you're on your diet, but the scale's not moving. This is totally normal, and I'm gonna explain that part later. The second thing that can happen is the scale does move, but you look in the mirror and you don't see any differences. So let's talk about point number one. Point number one, you look at the scale and the scale's not moving. Well, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes when you're on a weight loss regimen that are going to make the scale fluctuate. The three big ones are going to be your water levels, your sodium levels, and believe it or not, possible muscle gains. So when you're doing a lot of cardio, you're going to be strengthening muscles that you don't use very often if you're not doing cardio. That's going to be a lot of your hip flexors. It's going to be a lot of your calves. It's going to be a lot of the muscles in the back running up and down the spine. Now this isn't going to add up to a ton of weight, but if you are developing your calves and your lower back, it will add up to a little bit. So keep an eye out for that. The big ones though are going to be sodium, carbohydrates, water. So every day you're probably not eating the exact same things, and eating something slightly different on one day from the other can actually make massive weight changes on the scale. It's not body fat, it's water weight. So what does that mean? Well, let's just say, for example, you went out on the town and you had some sushi. Sushi is notorious for being very salty. That's going to be a lot of sodium mixed with the carbohydrates in the rice. It's going to lead to a lot of water retention. You could have sushi and then the next day step on the scale and see 2 to 3 pounds increase, and that's very normal. This is going to happen with just about any salty meal that has carbohydrates in it, but don't be alarmed. This isn't body fat, this is water weight.
Hey,
so when you're going on the scale
good.
and seeing these numbers, sure, it can be very demoralizing. You've been dieting really hard and you're not seeing the scale go down. Well, here's one thing that we can do to kind of keep ourselves on track and keep our minds right. We want to weigh in daily, and you want to check your progress every 2 weeks. So pick a day of the week that you think you're going to be at your leanest. For some people, that might be Thursday. Every 2 Thursdays, go and look at the numbers. Your weight is lower 2 Thursdays from the previous, you are on track. You're losing weight. If you're not, maybe it's time to make an adjustment. But don't worry about the day-to-day fluctuations, because the day-to-day fluctuations are totally normal. If you get caught up in this, you can start spinning your wheels and start making the wrong type of adjustments. So it's best to have a plan. Set a day of the week that's going to be your set point and check that every 2 weeks to make sure the weight is moving. It's completely normal to only lose 1 pound to 2 pounds of body fat in this time period. I want to give you guys a visual representation. This right here is 5 pounds of body fat. And look how crazy this is. If you lost 5 pounds of fat in 1 month, that's this. That takes up more than my entire arm. Do you see that? So don't freak out if the scale's not moving as fast as you want it to. If you lose 5 pounds, that's coming off your body. That's incredible. If you can do that month after month, you could end up losing multiple of these. So that's fat here, fat here. Starting to get the idea? Now a lot of that is going to be coming from places you might not be seeing very often. It's going to be your legs, it's going to be your lower back. But the good news is that it's all coming off. And I want to really focus on one thing. You can't do spot reduction. So don't get caught up on trying to make your love handles smaller or getting that jiggle in the triceps away. The only thing you can do is burn the fat. If you've got struggle areas, eventually they will come off. The fat has to go somewhere and it's got nowhere to hide. if you're in a deficit long enough. So what's the next thing that can happen? Well, maybe the scale is going down, but you're not seeing any new definition. This can almost be even more demoralizing than the first point. Well, there's a reason for this. There's two different types of fat. There's subcutaneous fat, which is going to be fat underneath the skin. This takes up a majority of your body. I'll give you an example. Right here, that's subcutaneous fat. That's subcutaneous fat. But the other fat is visceral fat. Visceral fat is the fat that surrounds your organs. It's actually probably more important to lose this fat than the subcutaneous fat, because your organs, if they're surrounded by massive blockages of fat, it's not really the subcutaneous fat that's giving people heart failure and different stomach problems. It's the visceral fat surrounding your organs. So when you're losing weight, if you lose something like this around your organs, be very happy, because this is you getting longevity. Well, this is literally survival. Like, let's forget about aesthetics for a second. Getting this off your liver, getting this off your intestines, getting this away from your heart is going to be the difference between having a short life and a long life. So I've really stressed the importance of losing that visceral fat. You're not going to be able to see it because it's not on the muscle, but I'm promising you, just trust the process. As your visceral fat goes away, your body will start tapping into the subcutaneous fat, and then you're gonna start seeing that progress. But like I said before, there's no way to do spot reduction. So the best thing you can do is just stick to a calorie deficit and do a moderate amount of cardio. I recommend walking. Walking is gonna be my preferred method of cardio for weight loss, because the intensity is so low that the only limiting factor is time. As long as you have time, you can walk. And if you can walk about a mile every 20 minutes, you can reliably burn about 300 calories per hour. And I know 300 calories in 1 hour doesn't sound like much, but if you do this throughout the week, after 7 days, it's not that hard to walk for 10 hours. That's 3,000 calories, just shy of 1 pound of body fat. Just from walking. Very low intensity, it doesn't spike your hunger, and it's not gonna leave you sore and incapable of doing your next workout. I highly recommend walking, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Do you struggle with making the scale move? Are you struggling because you can't see your progress? I want to hear from you guys what's holding you back so we can figure it out. And while we're at it, please subscribe to the channel. Every little bit helps. And with that, I'm going to leave this here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. This thing is so much fun. Oh, I can't swear on I can't swear on this family-friendly channel, but look at this thing.